It was clear from the beginning that Shiloh Jolie-Pitt would grow to be tall. But just how tall is she? Here's how she's transformed over time. As Shiloh Jolie-Pitt started walking around with her family, we got a good idea of just how tall she'd grow to be. In 2010, Shiloh was seen walking through Narita International Airport in Japan with her mum and siblings, Maddox, Pax, and Zahara, and it was pretty clear she was already growing tall. That's because she already seemed to be giving her siblings a run for their money in the height department, despite being younger than them. The candid paparazzi shots showed that Shiloh, who held on tight to her mum's hand, was not too far off being as tall as Pax. Pax is around 2.5 years older than Shiloh, who was 4 years old at the time. That same year, Angelina Jolie opened up about how her kids were growing into their own personalities and how she didn't want to inhibit that growth, telling Reuters, "I would never be the kind of parent to force somebody to be something they are not. I think that is just bad parenting. Children should be allowed to express themselves in whatever way they wish without anybody judging them because it is an important part of their growth."
I've only seen diversity as strength.
4 years later, in 2014, we saw just how much Shiloh had shot up. The youngster appeared alongside Brad Pitt, her grandparents, and 2 of her siblings, Maddox and Pax, on the red carpet, who had gathered together to promote Pitt's movie, Unbroken. Though Shiloh hadn't quite caught up to Pax in the height department just yet, it was pretty clear she was growing up fast. Shiloh was just 8 years old at the time and looked just like her mum as she posed with her family members. But it was her height that was a real sight to see. The pictures showed that Shiloh was already as tall as her dad's chest and was only a few inches shorter than both of her brothers. Also catching our eye, just how dapper Shiloh had become. The youngster was clearly starting to develop her own sharp style as she rocked a suit and a stylish short blonde do. Around this time, Jolie opened up about how Shiloh's personality was growing just as quickly as her body. Jolie said that she offered her child the chance to play a big role in her movie, Maleficent, telling Elle, "I asked Shiloh about being Aurora, and she laughed in my face. She said she'd be a horned creature."
Well, we joked about Shiloh being the older Aurora.
Oh, okay.
And she thought it was the most ridiculous thing in the world. No, she would never even wear a dress.
The role eventually went to Vivian Jolie-Pitt, who looks just like Shiloh.
Get ready, Viv.
We saw Shiloh make another red carpet appearance with her family in 2019, only this time things were a little different. Shiloh was clearly a lot taller on the red carpet for Angelina Jolie's movie Maleficent, Mistress of Evil than she was when she posed with her family a few years earlier. In fact, it appeared Shiloh was very close to being the same height as her brother Pax. Shiloh was pretty much towering over her younger twin siblings, Knox and Vivian at the time, though the two still had plenty of time to catch up in the height department. Fans certainly took note of how big Shiloh had gotten, with plenty sharing their thoughts on her impressive height on social media. One fan wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, after seeing shots of Shiloh posing with her family that year, "Shiloh is tall and looks like Angelina." By the time 2021 rolled around, 15-year-old Shiloh was officially the tallest member of the Jolie-Pitt children. In photos showing Angelina Jolie posing on the red carpet with her kids, it was pretty clear that Shiloh had grown to be the tallest member of the clan. As the jet-setting family members lined up against a dark backdrop for the premiere of Eternals in London, even in flat shoes, Shiloh was several inches taller than her older siblings Zahara and Maddox. And Shiloh wasn't too far off being the same height as her mum either. Plenty of fans noticed just how tall she had gotten, including blogger Perez Hilton, who tweeted, "Angelina Jolie brought her kids to the Eternals premiere. Shiloh is so tall." But it wasn't just Shiloh showing off her height in the UK, as Jolie and Pitt's twins had also shot up. Despite being several years younger, they too were taller than Zahara, and Knox had even reached a similar height to his much older brother Maddox. The twins were 13 at the time, while Zahara was 16 and Maddox was 20. It looked like Shiloh may not have been quite done growing in 2021. Though she stayed a little more under the radar in the years that followed the family red carpet appearance in London, Shiloh was spotted by paparazzi out and about in 2023, and it looked like they may officially have grown as tall as her. Paparazzi footage showed the teen looking oh so edgy with a sharp buzz cut as she walked with Zahara. If Shiloh wasn't quite at the same height as her mum, she certainly seemed to have gotten very close. As for how tall Shiloh actually is, though her exact height is unknown, she appeared to be around 5'5" or taller when walking alongside her mum. According to the CDC growth chart, Shiloh has now likely reached her adult height.